The red mansion was decorated like a bride today. It was the wedding of Vivek, the only son of the mansion. The procession could accompany the bride at any time. All the preparations for the arrival of the new daughter-in-law were done. Vivek was married to Aarti, the daughter of a well-known industrialist in the city. Oh, the bride has arrived. The women of the house had come to welcome the daughter-in-law. The only thing on everyone's face was, it is like a pair of Rama and Sita. The daughter-in-law is just a piece of the moon. You are very lucky, mother of conscience. Vivek's mother performed the art of daughter-in-law and son and then said to the daughter-in-law for the housewarming, "Come daughter-in-law, you are welcome in your new home." As soon as Aarti raised her leg, she felt as if someone had held her leg tightly. His leg, raised to touch the urn, stood still in the air for a few seconds. Vivek's mother said, "What happened, Aarti son? Drop the urn and enter the house." Aarti touched the urn lightly with her foot, but the urn bounced like a football and fell away. Akshat was scattered everywhere. All the women were whispering to each other. Aarti's face had suddenly disappeared, as if the moon had been covered by clouds. "It's okay, son," Vivek's mother said. Aarti placed both her feet in the parrot, full of alada, and after that Aarti took out both her feet and placed them on the ground. She then walked slowly to the puja room as told by Vivek's mother. He bowed down to the idol of Radhakrishna placed in the room with folded hands. As soon as he raised his head, he saw that the curtain on the window of the room was burning with smoke. She screamed loudly, "Fire! Fire!" Then Vivek's mother said, "Son, where's the fire? This lamp is burning. You may have been confused due to excessive fatigue and lack of sleep. Go get some rest and change your clothes." "Hey Sumi, leave sister-in-law in her room," Vivek's mother said to his cousin. Sumi took Aarti to her room. "Sister-in-law, take some rest and freshen up." After saying this, Sumi went away. Aarti slammed the door and took her clothes and entered the bathroom. Aarti tried to remove the altar on her feet, but the color of the altar started changing from pink to red. It looked like bleeding. Aarti came out of the bathroom screaming blood. Vivek was sitting outside. Seeing Aarti in a desperate state, Vivek asked, "Blood? Where's the blood?" Aarti pointed to her feet, but her feet were completely clean. "I had blood on my legs. There is blood on the floor in the bathroom too. Let's go and see for ourselves," she said crying. Vivek also went to the bathroom with Aarti, but the bathroom was completely clean. "Everything is clear." "Nothing, you were delusional. I couldn't sleep well at night, maybe that's why," Vivek said while caressing Aarti's cheek. "Come on, I'm going out. I came to get some important papers, but I think it's with my dad. You relax." Vivek had said this and left. Aarti changed her clothes, closed the door from inside, came to bed and lay down. Aarti's eyes were caught when she heard a knock on the door with a knock, "Aarti, Aarti." He stood up and opened the door, but no one was outside. Aarti turned her head and looked around, but there was no one there. Maybe she was dreaming. As soon as she turned around, she felt a shadow running after her. He looked around again, everywhere, but he saw no one on the veranda. His room was on the first floor of La Haveli. There was a large porch in front of the room. As she turned to go to her room, she felt someone grab her hand and twist it. Ouch, she had screamed. Then Sumi had come there. "Sister-in-law, what happened? Why are you screaming?" "Nothing, I saw a cockroach." Aarti turned the matter by thinking that since she has come here, everything is happening strangely with her. If she told anyone, then one would not believe her and the other people would not consider her crazy. "Come on, sister-in-law. Everybody's calling you down. It's a ritual of showing your face," Sumi said. "I'll leave in 5 minutes. I'll fix my clothes a little," Aarti said. "All right, sister-in-law," Sumi said. "Didi, Did you come just a little while ago? Aarti asked. No, Mom, I've just arrived, Sumi said. Aarti had come down with Sumi. The ceremony of showing his face was done well, and it was evening while the other rituals were performed. Aarti's mother-in-law said, Son, you take rest. I'll send your food to your room. Afterwards, we all have to sit down and eat together every day. Aarti had come to her room. She lay down on her bed. Then his bed started shaking violently. He thought that maybe an earthquake had happened. She got out of her room, ran quickly to the stairs, and went downstairs. As soon as she came down, Vivek's mother was seen coming from the front. Boy, you didn't need to come. If I had to come, I would have mended my clothes, Vivek's mother said lovingly. Mom, I felt the tremor of the earthquake, Aarti said. Before Aarti could finish, Vivek's mother said, You must have had a dream. There was no earthquake anywhere. Shocked and upset, Aarti went to her room. He didn't understand what was happening to him. Today was also the wedding night of Aarti. The room was decorated for Aarti, and Vivek and Sumi came and got Aarti ready. But Aarti was still distracted by the events happening to her. The decorated Aarti was lost in her thoughts. Only then her eyes fell on the mirror in front of her. He thought a girl was peeping through the mirror. He jerked his head and looked at the mirror again, but no one was there now. In a little while the conscience had come. As soon as Vivek tried to get close to Aarti, Aarti said, Vivek, I need some more time. I'm not ready for it yet. All right. I'm in no hurry either. The fruit of patience is sweet, Vivek said with a smile. After 2 days, Aarti's brother came to pick her up for Pagfair, and Aarti went to her maternal home. As long as Aarti stayed in her in-laws' house, these strange incidents kept happening with Aarti. Aarti was a little lost thinking about all this. Aarti was very close to her grandmother. When Dottie asked Aarti the reason for sadness, Aarti told Dottie everything and said, Grandma, I don't think this is my illusion. This had never happened to me before. It's all started since I entered the house. I don't know if you're going to believe me or not, but I think someone wants to tell you something or want your help, Aarti's grandmother said. Then why is he hiding like this? Aarti asked. He is not a human being, but a spirit. A wandering soul that has died prematurely, Grandma said. What do you talk about, Grandmother? Said Aarti. I told you you wouldn't believe me. This time, when something like this happens, don't scream, just ask lovingly who she is and what she wants. How can you help him? Ask me once, Grandma said. I think, Grandma, Aarti replied. The next day Aarti came to her in-laws' house. She kept thinking about Grandma's words all the way. After reaching her in-laws' house, Aarti went to her room. Upon reaching inside, Aarti sat on the easy chair. As soon as Aarti sat down, the chair started going upwards, but Aarti did not shout this time and said, Who are you? Tell me. Aarti's armchair had come down. The pen on the table in front of him waved up in the air, and then the pen started moving on the wall. This housewarming should have been mine, not yours. Vivek had promised to marry me to Shreya. After that the pen stopped. Aarti found Shreya's name somewhat familiar. He remembered that he had seen this name in Vivek's last day group photo of college. He took out the photo again and looked at it. Shreya and Vivek were standing nearby. The next day, she went to Vivek's college and somehow managed to find out Shreya's home address. Shreya's house was in another city about 2 hours away. Aarti made an excuse to go to meet a friend at home and return by evening. Aarti arrives at Shreya's house. Shreya's mother opened the door. When asked by Shreya's mother, Aarti said, Auntie, I am Shreya's friend. I've been out of town for a few years. I just came back a few days ago. Son, Shreya never mentioned you. But he's not at home right now. When I get back, I'll tell you, Shreya's mother said. When will she return? She asked. Boy, it's been 7 days. I went home saying that there is important work. I will come and tell everything, Shreya's mother said. Did anything special happen that day? Aarti asked. Recalling something, Shreya's mother said, yes, some of her college friends had come and gone home. He was talking about a conscience. After they left, she sat in her room for a while. Then someone went out with a wedding card. You didn't file a police report? Aarti asked. I did, but they scolded me and drove me away. Where do I go alone now? If Shreya had a father. Saying this, Shreya's mother started crying. Auntie, now I will find Shreya, Aarti said. Aarti understood that Vivek would have a hand in making Shreya disappear. Vivek must have bought the police on the basis of his money and clout. When Aarti returned home, she asked Vivek, why didn't your friend Shreya come to our wedding? Vivek was a little stunned when he heard Shreya's name. I was just a classmate, not a friend, she said. I mean, what's not in the world now? Aarti asked. What are you talking about? It will be in the world. Where will she go? Vivek fretted and left. Shreya, give me some clue. What happened to you? Aarti fell asleep thinking this. Suddenly, the TV turned on and Aarti hated Vivek for what she heard. Shreya told that after hearing the news of Vivek's marriage, she went to Vivek and said, Vivek loves me and how can you marry someone else? Hey Shreya, understand, it's not just a marriage, it's a deal. I will continue to love you even after marriage. This Aarti will sit like a dumb doll at home. I'm all doing this for my good future. Vivek said shamelessly. No, I don't want that kind of love. You can't have this marriage. I will go and tell everything to your wife-to-be, Aarti, Shreya said. No, I'm sorry. We're both going to get married today. There's my friend's resort nearby. I'll call him. He'll make all the arrangements, Vivek said. I'll call my mother and you'll call your mom and dad, Shreya said. My parents will be angry now. The wedding cards are distributed and then I refuse to get married. After marriage, after your housewarming is done, they will have to obey them. Vivek said. I'm going to call my mother, Shreya said. Dear, if my parents find out that your mother was present, they will be sad and angry, Vivek said. Vivek then took Shreya to the resort. The two stayed there in room number 101. Shreya was wearing clothes brought by Vivek's friend. Then a hand came from behind and slit his throat with a knife. It was the hand of conscience. Vivek got me and that knife in the wall of the same room with the help of his friend and left from there, Shreya said. As of now, the CCTV footage is also preserved. There is evidence of me and Vivek's entry into the resort. You'll do the rest yourself. I didn't get housewarming, at least I got justice. As soon as Shreya finished talking, the TV turned off. Aarti spoke to the police with the help of her father. Aarti first filed a missing report of Shreya. On the basis of this, the police reached the resort and watched the CCTV footage. Shreya came in, but did not go out. A search of room number 101 led to the discovery of both Shreya's body and the murder weapon. On the basis of so much evidence, Vivek was arrested by the police. Aarti tells Shreya's mother about the tragedy and performed Shreya's last rites. She divorced Vivek and now she was even closer to her grandmother.